Softball Championship. The sun setting on a beautiful first day here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And what better way to end it with the host school, Virginia, winners of 4 straight, taking on Pitt, looking to advance to day 2 and keep their season alive. Packed house here for the Cavaliers in this final game. This is what we just saw in the first game of the nightcap, and it was just early miscues from Clemson that cost them, but a massive win for North Carolina, not just this weekend, but in the national landscape of them trying to make the NCAA tournament, and they get a matchup with their most heated rivalry, Duke, tomorrow night, as well as some other great matchups to kick things off. The #1 seed Florida State against Georgia Tech. Alongside a former national champion 3 times, Jenny Dalton-Hill, I'm Chucky Kemp. Well, here we are, Virginia making their debut. Ton of energy in this building. It's all about how they can use that to make a run this weekend.
Most definitely, and when you're the host school, it's so important for you to get that first win under your belt, keep the crowd happy, but they've got some good momentum with this group behind them.
Led by an offense that loves to start quickly, and a couple of record breakers in Jada Hilton and Macy Eaton.
Well, and Jade Hilton moved to the leadoff spot for the last 2 games and hit a leadoff home run in their last game out against Liberty. Then they got Macy Eaton. She paces this team offensively and actually hit 30 points higher in ACC play. These 2 back-to-back are tough.
Here's what they do together. Both of them have set single season or career, some sort of records for Virginia. A couple of the greats in this program trying to cap off this season with a run inside their own building. On the other side, it's Pitt, and they want to cause chaos. They want to run, Jenny, when they get on base.
Stolen bases. After looking at their roster last season, Coach Allard recognized this year's team needed to run. So they've set performance goals in the weight room and have made it a priority to take advantage on the base pass this year. And these 3 players are all top 5 individually in the league in swiping bags.
Time for tonight's What to Watch for, presented by Ally.
For Pitt, they need the pitchers to throw to contact and the defense to back them up. They've committed 17 errors in the last 10 games. For Virginia, they need to make sure that they swing early in their ABs, but it is important to take control early. They are 30-2 when they score first.
What better way to start off the night than a little shift here for Alina Ball leading things off. KK Esparza, one to really keep your eye on in this Pitt lineup, having a career year as a senior after missing some time last year with injury. First pitch swinging is fouled off by Alina Ball as Esparza looks on. Pitt trying to get some of their difference makers and these dangerous speedsters on the base paths right out of the gates. Ground ball left side, scooped up, and a strong throw across the diamond for out #1. That's Jade Hilton taking care of it.
So important to be able to have a strong throw across the diamond, especially when you're playing in that 5-6 hole a little bit deeper than normal. But that rocket of an arm gets a nice first out to start the game.
The starter for Virginia is the senior from right here in the state, a left-hander, Courtney Lane, who has gotten better and better each year of college, Jenny. She's closing out with career best numbers as well.
You mentioned it, improved numbers over the last year while carrying a much heavier load. Lower walks than last season. Just 1 complete game has been used primarily as a reliever, gets the start tonight.
Yeah, just her 9th start of the season. She's been really good as of late. Just 3 earned runs in the last 4 appearances. That's over 13 2/3 innings.
Well, it comes down, she throws low to mid-60s, a confident rise ball with really good movement paired with a drop ball that has about 7 inches of sink. Her drop has a movement pattern that looks very similar to her changeup, and that will be important for her to tunnel those pitches well.
Swing and a miss for strike 2.
And defensively, you're seeing a big shift for the Who's as they take their second baseman on the other side of second base over onto the shortstop side to go against T. Lee Vaughn, who is a big-time pull hitter.
1-2, Vaughn to the left side. And again, it is Hilton to retire Tylee Vaughn, 2 away.
That was a scary moment, Chucky, actually, because it looked as though Kyra Pittman, or it looked as though Courtney Lane missed her spot on the outside part of the plate, and Vaughn pulled it across to the shortstop.
First pitch, strike to the three-hole. KK Esparza, redshirt senior from Houston, Texas. This is her 3rd year now at Pitt after started her career at Ole Miss in 2022, spent 2 years there. Swings through that and falls behind 0-2. Courtney Lane is hammering the strike zone right now.
Not only is she hammering the strike zone, but she's using that change of speed to get that early swing from KK Esparza.
And she got her swinging. Courtney Lane came to play, spinning it here in this first inning.
She says, you know what? I may not be a regular starter, but watch the way I start this game. All the momentum in Courtney Lane's court coming out of the circle.
ACC Softball Championship is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands.
That trophy was lifted by Clemson last year, and the reigning champs have been knocked out in the opening round here at the ACC Championship in Charlottesville. Big win for North Carolina, important for their season moving forward with Selection Sunday just a few days away. Sets up a rivalry matchup with Duke tomorrow night. And now Virginia comes to the plate for the first time here inside their own building. Palmer Park hosting the ACC Championship for the first time. And the first pitch is up and in to the leadoff shortstop, Jade Hilton. Popped up on the infield. And a long run in from third and a diving catch by Gracie Helton. She might have been third or fourth on the list of who you thought would have caught that ball.
That ball hung in the air for such a long time. I thought it was going to be an easy play made by the catcher or maybe even the pitcher, but on this one, you saw a huge track by Casey Helton having to come a long way to get the first out of the ball game. Great defense.
Third is on there good. She's trying to clean herself off still.
That's why there's equipment managers that'll take care of that tonight.
This is ripped into left center, but the shift was on in the outfield, and Amari Braden makes the catch.
We have seen so many shifts already in this ball game, but these two teams playing the averages, understanding the power slots for a lot of these hitters, and knowing the way that Macy Eaton likes to drive that left center gap, they moved over and took advantage.
Bella Cabral now at the plate in that 3 spot, had a couple home runs in their series against NC State. Cabral on a 3-game hit streak as she takes up and in. Third-year starter and another one that just keeps getting better. And I think a lot of that, you can look at their head coach, Joanna Harden, who's been here 10 years now and just has really figured out what it takes to win here in Charlottesville.
And Joanna Harden is one of my favorite coaches to talk to. Actually, both of these coaches on both sides of it. But Joanna Harden has come into this program, 10th year now, figuring out how to recruit to this location, find portal additions to work in this space.
Cabral falls behind 1-2 after fouling out down the left field line. Virginia in a really good spot. They've won 4 straight. They have 37 wins this year. They need just 2 to pass the previous high under Harden of 38 last year. Started super hot, 21-1. They won 20 straight after a season opening loss to Arkansas. That ball is fouled off to stay alive, 1-2.
And they've been able to figure it out in the circle and at the plate. They've got 12 shutout wins on the year. So not only is this a really good season for them with those big, long win streaks, but they've been able to shut down offenses with their work in the circle and bring the bats to life to get those big wins this season.
Bounced in by Pittman. Kira Pittman, a grad student from Cumberland, Massachusetts. Most used arm a year ago. This is bounced over to the third baseman and off the glove of Helton on a tough short hop to keep the inning alive.
We've seen the ball be pretty lively off the dirt here in Charlottesville. It is a beautiful infield, giving pretty true hops, but it is playing quickly off of the dirt. And with that, over there at third base, Gracie Helton gets a really tough hop. Goes down as an error by Helton at third.
It's an important inning for Pitt because Virginia does a lot of their damage in the first. It is their best inning by far. They hit 365, 13 home runs, and they've scored 88 runs in the first inning this year. It's the only inning of the 7 that they hit over 300 in.
Yeah, a quick start is what Virginia typically likes to do in a game. They are 30-2 when they score in the first inning.
Strike 1 from Pittman to Reagan Hickey, the catcher. Has a hit in 4 of the last 5, couple home runs in that span, and 6 RBIs. Redshirt freshman from Atlanta, Georgia. Out in front of this pitch, 1-2.
And this season, you're seeing Pittman throw in the low 60s. She relies heavily on her drop, but so far here today, we've seen her throwing up in the zone and throwing to all quadrants. So location and spin are the priority over her speed here tonight.
Two-two. And Pitt matched that first 0 put up by Virginia. In the air to left field, this should do it. And the left fielder, Murphy, takes control. Zeros after 1. Tech, Louisville, and North Carolina are winners so far, and one more to join them in the quarterfinals tomorrow. How about Jill Livingood, the freshman for UNC? She was fired up after that one, and she should be. Had an excellent performance in relief, so day 2 is almost set. This winner goes on to face Virginia Tech in another 4-game day here in Charlottesville.
Now, definitely fired up because that win over Clemson was a program statement win for them here at the end of the season, and Jill Livingood in relief was a huge part of that win and allowing them to advance to tomorrow.
0-0 after one, Pitt and Virginia. Different things at stake for these two programs. For Pitt, it's a chance to get to 500 on the season, to get their 26th win of the year. For Virginia, again, about momentum. It's about having an opportunity to raise a trophy in this building. And when you look at the way this Virginia team is built, you look at how they played at times this season, if there were a team out of this first day that were going to make a run, it might be this Virginia team.
Now, and this is exactly what has been building for Joanna Harden here in Charlottesville. She's watched some of these players emerge and mature into what they are now, and as they lead this team, it's Jade Hilton and Macy Eaton, who she knew would be so important in their senior seasons to be able to give them a chance to make a deep run in the postseason.
One-two fouled back by Callie Henney. True freshman from Wexford, Pennsylvania. 3-time All-State in Pennsylvania. Hit .562 as a senior at Pine Richland High School with 13 home runs. Inside, and that will get her. Almost threw it completely behind her. Just the 4th time Henney has been hit this year, but Pitt has their first base runner. Well, Jenny, for Jenny Allard, it is year 3 at Pitt. They have improved their win total all 3 years. Had 17 in the first year, 20 last year, and 25 wins this season. So much experience. Her 31st overall year as a head coach. And she came to Pitt from Harvard, where she took over in 1994 as the sacrifice bunt works there for Gracie Helton.
Station-to-station ball. Lacey Schur down in the third base coach's box, the assistant coach for Pitt, leading the offensive charge, putting a runner in scoring position now as Addison Tozic comes to the plate.
This is ripped into center field, and backtracking is Hudson to make the catch. The runner stays put at second.
Frustration by Lacey Schur over at third base, expecting to see an advancement by Callie Henney.
Especially when you've seen Courtney Lane put a ball in almost behind a hitter, so that possibility, and what we just saw from Clemson in the first game of the nightcap with a couple wild pitches being a big part of that win.
Well, I thought that was actually a deep enough ball to advance just about any runner.
Here's the center fielder, Amari Braden, the 7-hole hitter for Pitt. Her one hit in the Cal series to finish the regular season was a home run. Hard hit ball through the right side, and now will they send the runner? They will. Here comes the throw, and out at the plate. Pitt immediately says no. Challenge it.
A ton of excitement on the field as Virginia is looking to get off the field, and they are going to take this to video review.
Jenny Allard now talking with the home plate umpire, Don Brown. Smokey Eds getting set to make an announcement. you could see Hickey kind of fumbling it behind the plate for a moment.
It's all about whether she had control at the plate. She left the open face of the plate available. It is a late tag that had to be, the ball got out of the glove, had to be picked up by the throwing hand, and then tried to apply the tag. The question is, did she tag her high enough to allow that hand to get to the plate first?
This call on the field is play. This call is being challenged by Pitt.
I actually think this is a really good challenge early in the ball game by Pitt. It is called out on the field. It would end the inning here, but it's this misplay or juggling of the ball by the catcher Reagan Hickey. So the ball does come loose. She keeps it in front, picks it up with her throwing hand to try to make the tag, but I think the glove made the tag without the ball in it at first, and perhaps it's just blocked from the view of the home plate umpire, Don Brown.
The replays are being done right next door to our booth. Roger Potts is the replay official. This is one of those, Jenny, that we might be thinking the same thing in the booth. It feels like she's safe. I don't know if you can see it.
And we've had a couple of replay reviews already in this ACC championship tournament where they were too close to overturn or change. And so in this one, it's all about the looks that our cameras are able to show those operators looking at the replay review. But I think there's a chance that that hand got underneath before the ball was able to tag her. It looks like it's up the arm just a little bit.
I agree. I think that look right there shows that her hand is there, because the catcher Hickey is almost still raising the ball when you can see the fingertips hit the plate.
Well, and if the ball had been caught cleanly, that's a bang-bang play. We're out of the inning. It's not a problem. But because it was fumbled on the receive, it allowed it to trickle out and create a lot of confusion at the plate on this play. But Chucky, let's go back and think about what happened the at-bat before. On that fly ball to the outfield, why did Callie Henny not advance to third base? This would have been an easy advancement on the hit to right field had she taken advantage of the play of the hitter before.
I'm looking next door, and it appears they are relaying the message to Smokey Eds. Here we go.
After further review, the call on the field has been changed. The runner is safe. Ole Miss still has 2 challenges left in the game.
Roger Potts on video review, and I think they got that right.
I think they did. And no fault to the home plate umpire. I think the bobble was obstructed. His view was obstructed by the catcher. And so because of her body positioning, he did not see that the ball was not inside the glove when the tag originally was applied. So because of that, going to review helps out Pitt, and they get a run on the board.
Now ball 1 to the next batter, Shelby Frazier, who's had plenty of time to think things over as they took care of that last play. Redshirt sophomore from Cypress, Texas. Runner on first base in a 1-1 count.
So important to continue this momentum here at the plate.
Fouled straight back 1-2. Braden at first, tons of speed. 21 of 25 stolen bases. That's second best in the ACC. She was going that time, but it's fouled off.
Just spoiled that pitch while we know that Pitt is going to be in motion all game long. It really puts a ton of pressure on the defense to be able to defend the steal while also holding your position to field any kind of hit coming out of the box.
2-2. The big key for them is the stolen bases. 3 of the top 5 in the ACC. That is certainly an asset for Jenny Allard.
Yeah, where does number 1 sit? It's Chelsea Mack at Louisville, 42 stolen bases on the year.
Slow roller, third base side and in foul territory. I think it just shows the adaptability of Jenny Allard. 31st year as a head coach. I look back at the last 5 to 8 years at Pitt and then also at Harvard. And they've had some numbers in the stolen base category, mid-60s, low 70s, but not like this. This is different. And part of that is just personnel. And she recognized it as something that could benefit them big time this year.
Knowing that the long ball may not be there for them, it hasn't in most recent history. So because of that, how do you change a game? You put runners in motion.
And that's an easy one for Braden to take second. And now a big spot here for Shelby Frazier, who in our call this week with Jenny Allard talked about just need her to step up in critical moments and put a barrel on the ball.
Yep, she's been pressing in those moments and has not found a ton of success. So right now needing to calm her heart rate and just execute on this pitch.
Outside ball 4.
And it is still a young ball game as we haven't even been through the lineups once. And with that, still learning what is coming out of the circle, what the strike zone is going to be called back behind the plate. And a very pivotal moment right now as Pitt has some momentum.
And they've got some moves. Look at this.
Is it the scoring train?
I guess so, sure. Whatever you say it is, Jenny, you're about to name it right here.
Whatever it is, you can tell that this Pitt team likes to have a good time. And if they're loose and able to execute in this situation right here, they better stay loose this whole ball game. This is a team that if they do not win the ACC championship, they are not making it to the postseason. Their RPI way too high. They are not ranked. They're 11th in the ACC coming in here. So this is a team that is a win or go home situation.
Out of the 9-hole, Cameron Murphy at the plate, a senior from Pittsburgh. Fouls it up and out of play. But in a lot of ways, this has been a successful year for Pitt. This is the first time they have made back-to-back ACC championship appearances since 2015 and 2016. And so while it's not your traditional view of it making the postseason, this is progress yet again for Jenny Allard in her 3rd season. Again, fouled back. Couple good swings here from Murphy, though.
Really good swings by Murphy. She's got 7 home runs on the year, so has some good pop. And of those 7 home runs, 6 of them came in conference play. So she saw most of her power coming through down the heart of the regular season.
Just tipped that, or did she? No, she didn't. That's going to get by the catcher, and now 2 in scoring position. I thought for a minute it sounded like the bat got that.
Yeah, it was a pick by the catcher rather than a block. And so because it hit the plate and ricocheted off the glove, I would actually like to see Hickey go down and block this pitch rather than try to pick it, because by hitting the plate, it gave it a little bit more of a bounce than Hickey was anticipating.
1-2, swing and a miss. It got away, and the play was at first, but Hickey kept it, and now the bases are loaded. They were out of the inning, and they would have had Murphy.
And in those situations, you need to try to make the game slow down in your pre-pitch preparation, because in that moment, a ball that is swung at and 2 outs, you still need to go to first base to get that out. Hickey got a little bit nervous, saw that the runner was trying to draw the throw at third base. With first base able to get the out and get out of the inning, she didn't pull the trigger on that throw, and now the bases are juiced.
Still 2 outs. Virginia thought they were out of this with the play at the plate that scored the first run, and now Pitt can really put the pressure on the home team in their own building. Alina Ball, she's not the power threat, but has a ton of speed. Just 5 extra base hits and 8 RBIs on the season for Ball. Like a pretty good cut there on that slap attempt, and it's 0-1.
Well, they are not anticipating a lot of power coming from Alina Ball, because they've got their outfield shaded shallow to the left side. The only infield defender that is back is Jade Hilton.
Swings through it again, strike two. Got her swinging. 3 straight swings and misses.
But the damage is done. A misplayed ball at the plate. Pitt able to plate one. Huge reaction as they're able to get the lead.
Teams that want to get to Oklahoma City.
Everyone in the country wants to hear their name be called.
I feel like it's just the beginning of a new season.
The selection special on ESPN2 Sunday night at 7 Eastern, and then regionals May 15th. That is just 9 days away. Here's the top 16 in the RPI entering tonight. 2 in the ACC, Florida State and Duke, and then Stanford is right there on the outside at number 17.
No, I'm excited to see the way that Stanford shows up here in the ACC Championship. Are they going to be able to do enough to give a nod to host regionals?
Virginia back at the plate here in the second inning. Kelsey Hackett hit that a mile, but foul on the first pitch, and it didn't even look like a full swing from Hackett.
I mean, that was a Hackett, the way that she went right at that pitch. She's been vulnerable to the rise ball this year, but pull side dominant showing right there. And when a hitter is pull side dominant, they do leave themselves vulnerable to the outside part of the plate. Not only was that a really good spot with that pitch, but as an off-speed pitch, that shows that she's able to control that pitch right now and try to exploit the weakness of the hitter at the plate.
Fights that outside pitch off to stay alive.
Very limited oppo this season. We've not seen her go the other way with a ton of dominance, and so with that, the outside part of the plate is going to be one that needs to be exploited by Pittman.
Another 0-2 opportunity for Kira Pittman. This is into left field and caught by Murphy.
Outside pitch, I mean, that's exactly what she's been doing with outside pitches this year. Gets around them with her barrel and has to reach for it. And by reaching, she doesn't get a ton of power on it, so it's an easy fly ball out to left. The right way to approach that pitch is to allow it to travel and go the other way with it, but we've not seen her do that a ton this year. First pitch strike to Alex Call, a sophomore from Bradenton, Florida.
Just 16 games last year, made a couple starts, had 5 total hits. Swings through the 0-1 to fall behind 0-2. Finished strong in the final couple games against NC State in their last ACC regular season series. 3 hits in those last 2 games, a double, a home run, and drove in 6. One-two, got her swinging.
That outside pitch right now is dealing, and it looks as though these Virginia hitters are not ready to go the other way with it. Pittman is showing complete dominance on that outside, driving it into the river. Hard to catch up to that one. Big swing and miss.
Just misses outside to Jaden Griffith. True freshman from Williamston, Michigan. 0 for 9 in the last 4 games of the regular season. Just 3 hits in the last 4 weeks. Trying to turn things around right here. Slapped out in the shallow center field, and it is down for a base hit. She's going for 2. They got her. Pitt with some big moments early in this game.
Griffith got greedy, and in getting greedy, she wasn't wanting 1. She tried to go for 2, and with that, defense for Pitt shows up in a big way. Yeah, it's a hit to shallow left center. However, out there in left, Cameron Murphy coming up with a nice throw, gets them out of the inning. Defense showing up for Pitt. So far has happened in the second inning. It was an Amari Braden hit to the outfield that got bobbled at the plate. The call at the plate was out. It was overturned. Pitt put the only run of the board so far up on the board, and it's an important run for them, because if they do not win this game, their season is over.
Looking for their first ACC tournament win since 2018. It is the Jenny Allard effect. They just keep getting better. She's calm on the phone, too. There's not a whole bunch of stress there, and I think she understands this is a process. You're not going to come in and win big right away, but she's building something right now at Pitt. And over the last couple seasons, you can kind of see that start to take fruition.
And she learned from one of the best. She played for Carol Hutchins at Michigan, and one of Carol's Coach Hutchins, I can't call her Carol, that sounds so weird. Coach Hutchins' first couple seasons.
Lined out to center field. for route number 1. That's Tylee Vaughn at the plate for Pitt. That's a couple good swings, too, off lane that they haven't found a home for. Tozic had a nice one on a line out to center, and then Vaughn right there. So some positives for Pitt offensively as a whole. This is right at the shortstop as they retire KK Esparza for the second time. This weekend's featured baseball game on ACC Network and the ESPN app. It's Saturday, number 14, Florida State and Clemson playing the second game of their 3-game series at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern.
Well, Florida State baseball is 4th in the ACC. Florida State softball, number 1, winning their 38th combined ACC regular season and tournament championship, hoping to find a way to get number 39 here today. They will start off their time here in Charlottesville tomorrow.
Last chance for Pitt here in the top of the 3rd. Ground ball right side picked by Eaton. That was a rapid-fire inning for Courtney Lane and Virginia, looking for their first run on the other side. This past weekend, sweeping Boston College and shutting them out in 3 games to clinch their 38th combined ACC title. They were outright regular season champions. That 38 titles is the most by any team in a conference in the country. And this is the matchup tomorrow, a rematch from a couple weekends ago in Atlanta. Georgia Tech, a chance for some revenge on Florida State.
It is hard to beat a team 4 times in one season, but that is the task that Florida State is up against, because while they did get 3 wins in Atlanta over Georgia Tech, they were tight ball games, and Georgia Tech is swinging it, getting that run rule win in the opener here today.
Eileen Morales' team should be feeling confident after the way they played this morning. They had the early one, 11 a.m. They get the early one tomorrow. They're in the low 40s of RPI entering this ACC championship. If they beat Florida State, I think that's enough.
I thought you were going to talk about the weather at Boston College, because I feel like it was in the low 40s while we were there just this last weekend.
It didn't feel like that. That was the feels like temperature.
What a difference a couple of days make. It was a beautiful day here in Charlottesville today. It did start with a little bit of rain overnight and into the morning, but this field is absolutely beautiful.
Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 3rd for Virginia. That's Hannah Weismer reaching out of the 8-hole.
to be patient and take your walk is an important part of this game. When you sit with when you sit with a deficit, sometimes you can press at the plate, but there is a lot of ball to be played here today. Drawing your walk and passing the bat is so important when you sit down here at the bottom of the lineup, and those big potent bats are waiting just a couple at bats away.
They'll run for Weismer with Addison Racer, who they call Scooter.
Get it? Like a razor scooter.
Yeah. I didn't think this generation had those, but I guess I'm wrong. I thought that was like ended with my generation. It's good to know it's still around. I might have to grab one.
They're good light up wheels, right?
Yeah, I want to see you come into the booth on one.
I got you.
Hudson lays down the bunt. Trying to beat it out, not quite. But the sacrifice works to put Virginia in business with one away, and the top of the order coming up.
Executing in the moment is so important, and sacrifice bunting is exactly what needed to happen in that situation. Putting the ball down, allowing the wheels to move, the pinch runner Racer racing to second base, now in scoring position.
Here's Jade Hilton. That bounces in. Racer will stay at second.
Smart decision by Racer at second, because with that block behind the plate, Esparza did a good job of blocking it to the third base side, which would have shortened that throw down there to third base.
Jade Hilton's homered in back-to-back games entering tonight. 4 home runs in the last 6 games. 2-0.
To say that Jade Hilton has been an impact player from the moment she got to campus, she has put up big numbers year over year, and now in her senior season, the word special is one that Joanna Harden continues to throw around, and not knowing how she'll respond next year without Hilton in the lineup.
55 or more hits all 4 years. 53 career home runs, 150 RBIs, a second-team All-American, a 2-time first-team All-ACC player. 3-0. There is strike one from Pittman.
Dirty pitch, especially in a 3-0 count. If Hilton had the green light, that's almost always a miss hit on that one, because your timing is so off.
(3-1) to Hilton. Really tried to lean into that. This is into the clouds down the left field line, but a nice job to stay with it by Frazier. That's the shortstop making that catch.
We don't say clouds in an outdoor sport, Chucky, because that was a rainmaker for sure, how high that ball got in the air. I thought that was going to be the left fielder Murphy's ball, but the shortstop Frazier tracked it all the way into the grass to bring in that second out.
Jenny Allard wants to talk things over. You mentioned the Carol Hutchins connection. Starred at Michigan under not just Carol Hutchins, a young Carol Hutchins in just her 3rd season. That was when Jenny Allard got to Michigan. She was the Big Ten Player of the Year and a first-team All-American in 1989. I said, look, you got to be honest with us. Were you her first star? And she said, no, there were a couple All-Americans before me, which shows you how good of an eye Carol Hutchins had for talent right from the get-go.
Definitely did, and more than anything, when Jenny Allard went in, she was a California kid, the first California recruit for Carol Hutchins, coming out of the Sunshine State and going all the way over to Michigan. And she said it was because she had family in the area, so that was one of the reasons she felt confident going across the country. Went in as a third baseman, but became a really good pitcher for the Wolverines.
Said it was the only visit she took outside the state, and said she just felt a genuineness in who Carol Hutchins was and how she wanted to build that program. Inside strike one from Pittman here with 2 outs and 1 on. And there they are. That was when Jenny Allard was at Harvard and Carol Hutchins was still at Michigan.
Yeah, they were out on the recruiting trail, took that pick And Coach Allard was kind enough to share that with us. I told her that wasn't the picture I wanted. I told her the picture I wanted was the young Carol Hutchins and the Jenny Allard in a uniform playing for Carol Hutchins, and she said, I don't know if there's anything that's not a Polaroid in a box to be able to pass along. And she did not pass it along, so I'm guessing it's in a box back home.
Ground ball foul. Pittman a chance to get out of this here and strand the runner at second base. Just outside, ball 2.
And this is a really pivotal moment right here with the kind of bat that Macy Eaton's been swinging this year. She has the highest average on the team. She's got double-digit home runs and a runner in scoring position. So it is so important right now for Macy Eaton to show up with a big hit.
Lined out to center field her first trip. 2-2. Low, full count.
One of the things that Joanna Harden said about Macy Eaton, she said she needs to hunt the zone. And in this situation right here, 3-2 count, if this ball is a strike, she needs to make sure she is hunting that pitch to get the barrel off her shoulder and do some damage.
Didn't get all of it, but out to right field, and it's caught by Alina Ball. Pitt has held Virginia scoreless through 3. A performance their former Big Ten Player of the Year and first-team All-American head coach Jenny Allard can be proud of. We'll talk to her when we come back. So good, she is on the wall in Ann Arbor, Michigan at the stadium. SEC Softball Championship presented by Allstate. 3 innings complete here in Charlottesville. Pitt leading Virginia 1-0. We're joined by the Panthers head coach, Jenny Allard. Coach, we're just seeing such an energy from your team tonight. Where's that coming from?
Yeah, they were loose. They were loose on the bus over. They've had, good practices on in prep for this, so they're ready to go.
Well, we've already seen how speed has impacted this ball game. You noticed that it was going to be something you needed to use this year. What went into that decision?
Just, I think, I credit Coach Lacey with that. She made a decision that seeing our speed and saying, hey, we just need to capitalize this year. Got our strength coach involved and all the players bought in. We were going to be a fast team and we're going to take bases.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
I mean, they have just been going bananas from the start.
Well, it comes down to some teams play better when they're loose. Some teams play better when they're focused. It looks as though this team needs to be loose.
There is a new pitcher for Virginia For Courtney Lane, after 3 innings, they will make the change to the senior Eden Bigham from Rustburg, Virginia. So they go from the left-hander to the right-hander. They both came into this with a 100 innings pitch, so very balanced approach from this Virginia staff. Bigham's been doing it a long time in this jersey.
She has help in the circle this season, but last year was really leaned on heavily. She has the highest numbers of her career in ERA and batting average, but her head coach praises the grace that she's shown this year during some of the most difficult moments of her career.
Ahead in an 0-2 count. Over 500 career innings pitched, an 18-game winner a year ago. When you look back to on Eden Bigham and everything she's done at Virginia, go back to her very first start on February 9th, 2023 against Lamar. No-hitter with 9 strikeouts.
I mean, she's been good from the moment she got here. A lot of velo. Rise has always been an elite pitch for her, and the ball down in the zone is typically just a low fastball, but it offsets that pitch right there so well. The success of her outing here tonight is going to depend on this Rise ball. Is it going to move? Is it going to get over the barrels? In this at bat, 100% does. I'm also looking forward to seeing the consistency of her changeup, because that will be a difference maker for her.
That no-hitter in her debut was kind of a precursor to everything that would happen in the next 4 years, because Macy Eaton and Jade Hilton both homered in that game as well.
I mean, you're looking at 3 of the pillars of this Virginia program who have continued to learn those lessons as young players and everyday starters to now be have a pinnacle kind of season like they are right now in their senior campaign.
Just missing outside to Addison Tozic. See Hilton at short. Very familiar sight for Bigham behind her. Popped up, foul territory, and tracked down by the catcher, Hickey.
Hickey had to go a long way to pick that ball up. Off the bat, I thought it went a little bit further to the first baseman, but the first baseman was playing so far back that she wasn't going to be able to get there. Hickey had to come out, track that ball, and bring the second out of the inning in.
Amari Braden drove in the lone run of this game and lays down the bunt. Look at this, rolling down the first base line. Bigham tried to field it. I don't know that it would have mattered, but man, the speed of Braden, you almost just let that roll out, don't you?
Well, in that situation, you've got to communicate. Your first baseman and your pitcher have to be able to say, I got it, or go get it, because when that happens, there actually was nobody at first base. With everybody moving towards the ball, the second baseman did not get over to first base. So I think you're right, Chucky. Allow that ball to travel with nobody else on. See if that ball would maybe trickle foul.
And in the end, very likely that we're in the same exact result. And Braden is aboard with 2 outs. We'll see. She wants to get on the move. Brianna Harden out of the dugout talking to Don Brown, our home plate umpire.
Well, and I think down the line, the conversation might be, was she out of the runner's lane? But by the time she got to where the runner's lane is chalked on the field, she had moved her way into foul territory, into the runner's lane, and did not impact the defenders going towards that ball. So really good footwork by Braden going down the line to be able to make that play very clean.
First pitch inside, that almost got Shelby Frazier, who walked her first trip to the plate. Keep an eye on Amari Braden over at first base. Out running on this pitch, and a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Now, I would anticipate some movement now by Braden, trying to disrupt the defense. The second baseman is covering the steal, which opens up the 3-4 hole wide. So these pitches need to stay inside so that they don't get hurt on a ball going oppo.
Here goes Braden. The throw down is in time. They got her. Just the 5th time this year Amari Braden has been caught stealing.
Well, and Chucky, that looked like a pitch out to try to get this advancing base runner. Great job by the catcher, Reagan Hickey, to get that out over there at second base. We'll ask Coach Harden about it when we talk to her after the break.
ACC Softball Championship from beautiful Palmer Park. Pitt leading Virginia 1-0 going to the bottom of the 4th. And we are joined by the Cavaliers' 10th-year head coach, Joanna Harden. Coach, very talented, of course, balancing all of this on your head right now. I got to ask you about your catcher, who is also multi-talented with that throw. I mean, how much can that do for your team when you're struggling on offense right now?
Oh, huge momentum shift. That's a part of their game. I think they lead the ACC, or their second ACC in stolen bases. They're in the top in the country. So that was one of our keys today, was to shut down the run game. And I mean, that just gives us a huge boost going into the bottom half.
No doubt, definitely does. And talk to us a little bit about what it means to host the ACC Softball Championship here at home.
And this is a gift. We had this vision, I don't know, 5 years ago when we got on the list, and we got this beautiful facility built. Lisa Palmer is here in person, and we've been waiting for this moment for years. So it's beautiful. It's such a gift. I just really ruined it for the crowd, but it's awesome. So we're grateful, and we're ready to get after the bottom half.
Coach, real quick, are you always out pulling the tarp in the morning?
Not always, but we needed the kids to sleep in today, so we were all here ready to go.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you. Go Hoos.
She can coach, she can balance stuff on her head in the middle of interviews and not skip a beat, and she can roll the tarp. Look at this.
She's a servant leader, and I think that that's what has shown the way that she has led this team, by also being willing to get her hands dirty in the difficult moments, and that she's built this program to this point right now. Not only is she so proud of being able to host this ACC Softball Championship, but she is so proud of the young women that she has in her program.
First pitch strike to Bella Cabral, and now it's about this offense for Virginia, who has some very dangerous bats in it, but they got to get going right now. Top 6 in the order for them have not had a hit, and they have not walked in the game. They have one that have reached. It was Cabral who reached on an error in the first. (0-2). Their biggest swings have been fouled down that left field line.
They definitely have, and when it comes to where do you pitch these big hitters, you have to make sure you hit corners, and that's the piece right now that Kyra Pittman has been doing a really good job of. When she throws the outside pitch, she's getting that weak contact, or they're just popping it out into right field. And when she throws to the inside part of the plate, it's in a spot where it's just an easy foul ball strike.
fights this off to right field, and it's just foul, and no one was there to track that down for Cabral.
And I think the thing that you have to understand is they are playing in so many defensive shifts here tonight on both sides. Both teams are playing in those shifts. And with the shift, as a pitcher, you cannot miss your spots. You have to look at where right field was playing in that last pitch, because the right fielder is almost in center field, and Pittman missed her spot, almost put herself in a bad spot.
Might not have been an inside the Parker, but probably an easy triple. Strike three, they say it got the outside corner. The second strikeout for Kira Pittman.
And it looked as though Cabral thought that she was gonna get an inside pitch, but that pitch froze her down and away. Definitely a pitcher's pitch. Whew, big one for the second strikeout for Pittman.
Off the end of the bat, Reagan Hickey out in front of that, flew out to left field, her first trip to the plate. This is all about Kira Pittman and this Pitt defense so far. 6 flyouts, no ground outs, and a pair of strikeouts.
Exploiting the top half of the zone, using the changeup, getting those balls up in the air. Those are the easy outs when you can get the pop fly. Well, and we say easy pop fly, but the first play of the game was that ball that the third baseman had to come all the way in on to catch right by home plate. Crazy catch. But all of the plays have been made in the air.
One-two count to the catcher, Hickey. Tied for third on the team in home runs with 10, 35 RBIs, also the third best mark. Redshirted last year as a true freshman.
In that redshirt year, I asked Joanna Harden about why did she redshirt Hickey. She said she just needed an additional year to develop. So with that, gave her a chance to not really feel fed by a fire hose, but take time to absorb the information that was going to be needed as she needed to take the reins back behind the plate as a catcher this year.
This is playable in foul territory for Henny, and there's 2 outs.
The outside pitch needs to be a conversation in the Who's dugout right now, because the outside pitch is in a hittable spot. They just need to have confidence to let the ball travel and drive that ball the other way. Virginia continues to pull off that pitch and just pop it to the right side.
Into left field again, foul down that line.
And that's a change of speed in that one coming from Pittman. And in a situation like this, you're trying to disrupt the timing of these hitters who have been able to square up a ton of balls this year. If you can disrupt their timing, you can get the barrel through the zone at the wrong time and get those foul balls that just ultimately are strikes.
1-1. Through almost 4 complete innings, this is an absolute pitcher's duel. These two teams combined 3 for 24 at the plate so far. Two and 1. Pitt keeping their bullpen loose. Lukashevitz and Kleithermas out throwing in the right field pen. This is into center field, stays up and is caught by Braden. Kira Pittman is spinning a gem, trying to upset the 6th seed Virginia.
much defense was going to play such a huge part of it. Big catch by Gracie Helton coming in to grab a ball, and then a big pickup by Cameron Murphy, getting a greedy base runner for Virginia. And then on the other side, Virginia knows that Pitt likes to steal bases. Reagan Hickey with a dart down to second base. Really good play on both sides so far here tonight.
Kira Pittman, 4 innings, just the 1 hit allowed, 1 walk. She has let her defense work for her, and they have, as we just showed you. Eden Bigham now in her 2nd inning of work after the starter Courtney Lane went 3 with just allowing the 1 run. And Bigham starts off Shelby Frazier with strike 1. The other part of this, when we talked about the impact Eden Bigham and the senior class here at Virginia have had on this program, this could be their final game in this stadium if you don't advance. This is not a team that is going to host a regional as it stands. So Eden Bigham, you're only guaranteed 3 more innings on this field.
But Chucky, I will say it is important that they don't think about it that way here tonight, because all that does is bring emotion, unneeded emotion into this ball game. And if you allow yourself to start thinking about the what ifs, then you don't stay present in the moment. So important to just be where your feet are and take it pitch by pitch rather than thinking about the big impact of what could happen here tonight.
It's hard to do, isn't it? I mean, at some point you wind up for Mike Candrea for the last time, and you did it in the right way, but at some point you left Tucson for the last time. I have to think that was a difficult game to even approach.
I honestly never thought about it. It was one of those things where, yes, there was always going to be a last game in that stadium, but I wanted to win a national championship to finish my career.
Strikeout for Bigham. There's 1 away. Well, the faithful 5 here for Virginia in the senior class. Bigham, Hilton, Hudson, Lane, and Hackett. Winningest class in program history, all 5 of them from in the state.
And Bigham has been such a huge part of that. She had the lowest ERA on staff last season, throwing 146 in the 3rd innings a year ago. Great strikeout numbers. This year, her ERA about a run higher, and because of that, she struggled to find consistency in the circles at times. It's really important for Bigham here tonight to just trust her defense back behind her.
Cameron Murphy at the plate. Just another one as a senior. You just never know when the time is going to run out. Check swing went around. Another strikeout for Bigham.
That is dirty, and that's what makes Eden Bigham so good. While she loves her rise ball, it's the changeup that continues to baffle hitters. It just floats in there for a strike. Not only did she break the plane of the plate with the bat, but that was an absolute beautiful changeup floating in for her 2nd strikeout of the inning.
Back to the top of the order, Alina Ball at the plate for Pitt. Trying to extend a 5-game hit streak, couple multi-hit games in that. Got off to a hot start and is finishing in that fashion as well. Had 11 hits in the first 5 games this year. It's been a career year for the senior. She was 2 for 30 at the plate a year ago in 31 games played.
Yeah, just 30 at-bats last season, and now finds herself sitting right below 300 with a bat in her batting average and a ton of stolen bases, leading the team with swipes.
Second in total hits with 44, 2nd in runs scored. Just trying to slap one out into an open spot.
Well, and the biggest open spot is out in right field. They're playing her back in the shift again. Moving Alex Call, the second baseman, onto the other side of shortstop and bringing the right fielder in to play second base. They are challenging Ball to find a spot.
And she is battling right now.
Well, and with right field open, everybody at home is thinking, well, why not just hit it to right field? Well, with Eden Bigham in the circle, she's not going to miss her spot and miss inside. So it's important that the outfield is able to trust that these pitches are going to hit the locations called.
Ground ball, trying to use the wheels, and that is a wild throw. Ball kind of got turned around awkwardly on the grass and ends up back on first base.
So they actually didn't move the right fielder in. They brought the left fielder in and shifted everybody over. It's a hard throw by the shortstop, Hilton, that gets away. But she knew, Ball knew that because she fell down after she got to first base, she didn't want to be left vulnerable for a tag, thinking that she tried to advance.
Call will actually stay on that side of second base, with Hilton splitting her and Cabral. The outfield is pretty normal in this situation, but there's no second baseman. Tylee Vaughn is the hitter. Tylee Vaughn to left field, and not enough. Just before the warning track, a great swing from Vaughn, who couldn't believe it. Eden Bigham trying to give him a spark, Jenny.
Eden Bigham feeling the pressure. Senior, pillar for this program. Big 2 strikeouts in this inning. Is she going to be able to find the run support to get a win here tonight?
Softball championship. How about 67 degrees, light breeze, beautiful night in Charlottesville, Virginia, as we wrap things up on day 1 of the ACC championship. Pitt looking for their first tournament win since 2018 and their first over Virginia here in Charlottesville.
I mean, this is a program right now that is in control of this ball game, but they need to make sure they stay where their feet are and not look too far ahead. These Virginia bats are looking to extend this season on their home field, because you mentioned it earlier, Chucky, a loss here tonight, and that will be the last time they play here in Palmer Park.
Winner gets Virginia Tech tomorrow night. 2-0 count to the second baseman, Alex Call. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Cavaliers.
And I need to apologize to Alex Call. It was actually Alex who made the play on that ball last half inning and the throw that got away. She showed great overhand arm strength in that throw, but it was just too much for their first baseman to handle. So in the shift, Alex Call actually made that play over on the left side of the field.
Takes strike one on the 3-0 count. Off the end of the bat, and another one in foul territory for Henny. ACC PM is live from the ACC Spring Meetings Monday and Tuesday at 4 Eastern on ACC Network. Stay up to date with the latest news, analysis, and interviews from across the conference. And as always, you can stream ACC PM on the ESPN app. It is all ACC fans here in the building. A lot of Virginia fans in attendance taking this one in and hoping that they will be back tomorrow night to watch them in a rivalry matchup with the Hokies.
Well, this ball game is not out of hand. It is a 1-0 ball game, tight situation on both sides. And with Jaden Griffith at the plate, not a ton of power, and because of that, the infield definitely shallow, trying to get the tap-and-go hitter out.
2-0 count to Griffith. Single back in the second for Griffith is Virginia's only hit tonight off Kira Pittman. And now trying to draw a walk here in the fifth with one out and a 3-0 count.
Well, she's a righty thrower and a lefty bat, which means a lot of times it's hard pull side with the right side, which leaves her as more of a pull hitter when she swings away.
There's strike one. Strike two on the inside corner. Nice bounce back here from Pittman.
When the inside part of the plate is a spot where the slapper does not like to try to swing at, because their goal is to drive the ball to the left side of the field. An inside ball, it makes it really difficult to keep the barrel inside that and push it to the left. And goes right back to that spot. I mean, that is a spot that most slappers will stay off of, but when you get two strikes, you have to tap it out of the way and try to move on to the next pitch. I'm impressed with the way that Pittman shows a lot of control on the inside part of the plate to the lefties.
Another 3-2 from Pittman. Got her swinging. Big pitch from Kira Pittman.
And that pitch is so effective because the previous two pitches were hard down and in to Griffith, and then she goes right back to the same spot but pulls the string. And when you can keep that pitch in the same location, trick the eye with the spin, but also take off the velo, you get that nice swing and miss and a strikeout.
3 strikeouts. The 67 pitches so far for Pittman. 4 2/3, 1 hit, and just the 1 free pass. Popped up, a chance for a 5th scoreless inning. It's caught in foul territory. The story tonight is Kira Pittman for pitch, shutting down Virginia through 5.
Softball Championship is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands.
Pitt's fired up. Joanna Harden, cool as a cucumber. Some big moments in this game, and just the one run, but it's been dramatic. And Pitt still leading Virginia now as we go to the 6th inning in what could be the biggest upset of day one.
Well, this is a big inning for Pitt. They need to pad their lead. One run is not going to be enough, I don't think, in this ball game, knowing the way that Virginia has been able to swing it this season.
Two innings of relief for Eden Bigham, just the one hit. She has struck out 3. 2 of those strikeouts came at the beginning of the 5th inning. But falling behind Pitt's best hitter, KK Esparza, right here. KK's sister Charlie is a true freshman playing at Baylor right now. Well, this is it for the redshirt senior from Houston, Texas. Hits this well, but right at the center fielder, Hudson. One away. After the game, stay with us for All ACC Live from the ACC Softball Championship right here in Charlottesville. Wrap-up coverage continues after every game. And as always, it's also available on the ESPN app. That's what we'll be watching the ladies on after this game. Alex Powers, Brittany McKinney, Taylor Tannenbaum. Is that blankets I see out there? Come on.
They act like it's cold.
What's going on? We talked about how tough they are. They're catchers.
I know, guys, you got to be tough. Come on. No, blankets are out. It's almost 70 degrees.
Yeah, we're talking about you. This is ridiculous. Just over the glove of Call at second base. It's a base hit for Callie Henny with one away.
Just over the head of Call. She's had a ton of action defensively here tonight, and that vertical, she tried to show it off almost enough to get the out. Henny driving the ball to the outfield. Pitt now with another base runner. I think they're going to make a change over there at first base, put a little bit more speed over there.
Peyton Harris, a true freshman from Irvine, California. It's been her primary role this year with 9 runs scored. And how big of a run that could be if Pitt can find a way to bring her around.
Any kind of cushion in this moment is so important because a one-run ball game is a vulnerable spot to be.
The Georgia native Gracie Helton at the plate. State champion at Gordon Lee High School last year as a senior. Takes strike 1. Had 2 home runs in their Game 1 win over Cal. Drove in 5 runs. Has 3 long balls in the last 6. Just 7 on the year. And 3 of them have come in the last 6 games.
When that home run you talked about against Cal, it was an oppo home run. So there is power going the other way. They've shaded, and they're going to play her down the line and leave a really big opening in right center.
Ahead in the count, 2-1.
This season, we've seen Gracie Helton adjust her load mechanics. She didn't used to stride. Now a little bit more of a hip hinge to be able to get herself into her legs.
Underneath this too much, and backpedaling is Hilton to make the catch. 2 outs.
Just missed that. You can tell that her timing was right on, but swing plane just underneath it. Nice job by Eden Bigham to exploit the upper half of the zone.
Two away for Addison Tozic. Strike one.
I like the fact that you saw some arm side run on that pitch. I have not really seen confident down to the arm side for Eden Bigham this year, but that pitch inside, taking off the corner, beautiful spot. That just looks like a low rise trying to get under the hands of Tozic.
Two-one count on Bigham. Big swing through that pitch for strike two. Just fouled that pitch off.
Just enough to spoil it, so important. I mean, when you look at the way that Eden Bigham has thrown this year, she's had some rough outings that have elevated her ERA this season, but that ball down in the zone is something that she doesn't typically throw often. It's usually just a fastball down.
That is fouled back as well to stay alive. Big swing and a miss. Bigham is rolling for Virginia, but the offense has to wake up.
Bigham is giving them a chance in the circle. Beautiful rise ball, multiple levels in that inning. But can the Who's respond with a run?
Softball League. Loading 6 teams take the field in their home markets, each stacked with a lineup worthy of the spotlight. The AUSL on ESPN. This is legendary.
We welcome you back to Charlottesville, Virginia. 1-0 Pitt leading Virginia as the Cavaliers look for life offensively. Well, you will get a look at one of the AUSL draft picks tomorrow for Stanford. This is everybody who received a golden ticket this year. The draft was held just a couple days ago in Nashville, and one of your 3 selections was Stanford star Taryn Kern.
Yeah, the only ACC pickup this year collegiately for the AUSL. And we're hoping that at the end of her collegiate season, she will be able to join the Bandits.
Absolute on-base machine, and can play a little bit of everywhere, it feels like, on the field.
She can. She's a big lefty power bat. She is a righty thrower, though, so because of that, it opens up her options to play multiple spots on the field. We're anticipating her being a big part of the lineup if she does choose to sign that contract at the end of the season.
Virginia has 6 outs to work with, and it's a 1-2 count to Cassidy Hudson. It's 9-1-2 this inning for the Cavaliers, so a big opportunity in the 6th to maybe plate their first run. 1-2 off the end of the bat, and right to Frazier at short. 1 out.
I mean, Pittman has been so good in the circle. She's been using that ball to the outside part of the plate to just keep these hitters for Virginia from really barreling up a lot. She's finding that corner with a ton of efficiency, using the changeup, but also just continuing to spin a gem.
The last time Pittman went 6 innings was March 29th against Virginia in a 4-1 loss, but only 1 earned in that game against the Cavaliers. She's got something with this lineup figured out.
Well, not only does she have something figured out, but her defense has shown up for her tonight. I think that's the difference between the last time she came out against Virginia. She threw well, but her defense didn't really back her up. And so here tonight, she's found some really good defensive plays. They've also moved into the shift to be able to put pressure on the bats to try to execute out of the shift. And they're finding themselves in a good spot here at the end of the ballgame.
0-1 count to Jade Hilton. Can one of these Virginia stars get them out of this funk? There are so many in this order that can do it with just 1 swing. Hilton certainly is one of those. Two and 1. The top 3 in this Virginia order, 0 for 6 tonight. 1 is reached on an error. It was Cabral in the first. That is popped back and just onto the roof here at Palmer Park.
And Jade Hilton has double-digit home runs, but right now she's looking to win this ballgame in 1 swing. And what you need to do in this situation, there's just 1 out. You've got to find a way to just square a ball up. Left field is wide open, which as a hitter should tell you they are throwing you on the outside part of the plate.
Into shallow right field for the second baseman, Vaughn, to back up to. 2 away.
Anytime you step into the box, you need to make sure that you are looking at your defense, because the defense is going to give away where the pitcher is trying to throw you. So with the way that the outfield was shaded against Hilton, it was giving away that the outside part of the plate was where Pittman was going to be aiming. So in that swing, Hilton just pulled off so hard. It was another easy pop fly out. And I talk about it like it's so easy. Like, how could she not execute in that situation? It is very difficult to execute that kind of barrel control, but Jade Hilton is the kind of player that can do that. She is that good.
Now Macy Eaton, another one who is that good and jumps ahead 2-0.
An all-ACC first-teamer this year. Coach needs her to think less. She doesn't spend a lot of time worrying about where the spin and the speed are. She is just a pure athlete trying to keep her head clear on all pitches.
Ahead 3-0. She is chasing the single-season RBI record that she set last year at 63. She enters this weekend with 60. There is strike 1. Jenny Macy Eaton, she started the season hot. She had a hit in 14 of their first 15 games. She has finished the regular season hot with a hit in 4 of the last 5. Trying to extend that run right here. 3-1, driven to center field, and gone! Macy Eaton with a mash.
We knew that it was so critical to make sure that Pittman hit her spots. Macy Eaton with a missile. That ball was crushed. That's the kind of swings that we are used to out of the top of this lineup. Macy Eaton, her 12th home run of the season, 66th team home run, and now we're sitting back with an even ball game.
Ground ball right side to end the inning. If you wonder what this means to this senior class, well, Macy Eaton, a junior, trying to keep them in this building one more day, and you saw the reaction.
We saw a fan ejected earlier this evening. We've now seen a ball ejected from the ballpark. Huge swing, big home run. Virginia looking for a win as they even it up in the 6th.
Virginia held scoreless through 5, but it's Macy Eaton with the hardest hit ball of the weekend, absolutely crushed to dead center field. That reaction said it all. I mean, it just felt like Virginia couldn't find anything. Even the balls they hit well, they were right at people.
And one of the things that Joanna Harden said about Macy Eaton coming into this tournament was that she put so much pressure on herself when her team is struggling. Well, right there, that pressure paid off because the seniors showed up in a big way to be able to try to get this game in their favor.
Fouled straight back, 1-1. 7-8-9 here for Pitt, but Amari Braden, who leads it off, had the RBI back in the 2nd. Trying to lay down a bunt, but falls behind 1-2.
And I like that look because the first baseman was so far back. Eaton is playing behind the bag. Because of that, it gave that drop and go a chance. But with 2 strikes now, she's going to put this ball in play. The defense is so far back. I'm actually a little shocked that they're playing her so deep.
Swing and a miss. Bigham keeps it rolling. Strikeout number 5.
Macy Eaton, ball down in the zone, and I think it was a missed spot, I think, for Kyra Pittman because she had been doing such a good job of finding the corners throughout this game, and that ball sat middle but low, and because it sat middle, it was vulnerable to be absolutely demolished to center field.
Pitt is going to make a change at the plate. It's going to be Mackenzie Reese, the sophomore from Allison Park, Pennsylvania. 0 for 4 in the last 2 games against Cal after a 4-game hit streak before that with 3 doubles and a couple RBIs.
Mackenzie Reese is a better hitter when she is going back up the middle. So right now, needs to make sure that she's not trying to pull this ball, but just takes it right back where it comes from. And she's got a little bit of a closed stance, and I asked their Pitt's offensive coach, Lacey Scher, about that closed stance. She said, you know what? It's not intentional. She doesn't even know that she does it. We've talked about it multiple times, but by closing herself up, with that left foot a little bit closer to the plate, it actually creates a lot more inside pitches for her at the plate.
Reaching at that pitch for strike 2.
And typically when a hitter has a closed stance, the outside part of the plate is a place you don't want to throw them. If anything, you want to jam them up on the inside, but she is standing so far off the plate. She is vulnerable out there close to the river.
2-2, got her. Strikeout number 6 for Bigham.
I mean, Bigham is dealing right now. Not a lot of emotion by the senior in the circle, but in the swing prior showed that Reese was willing to go there. So taking it another ball off the plate, gets a nice swing and miss for her 6-1 tonight.
Strike 1 to Cameron Murphy on the outside part of the plate.
I don't know about you, Chucky, but if that spot's going to get called, I'm not throwing it on the plate again. It's going to stay in that spot until these Pitt hitters show they can make an adjustment on that pitch.
Murphy 0 for 2. She reached after striking out in the 2nd inning. The ball got away. And the catcher, Hickey, kind of held it instead of going to first. That's in there for strike 2. Bigham trying to strike out the side. She has struck out 3 in a row. She got her looking. 4 straight strikeouts for Eden Bigham.
Eden Bigham, not a ton of emotion in the circle. She knows that there is a big, big prize at the end of this game if they can win. But she strikes out the side, puts them back in the dugout. Can they get her another run?
for a winner here in the 7th after trailing in this game for almost 5 full innings. And they have waited for this moment. Bottom of the 7th, after the massive swing by Macy Eaton last inning, sets the table for Reagan Hickey, the catcher, to lead things off. 4, 5, 6 due up here in the 7th for the Cavaliers to buy themselves another game inside Palmer Park this year. 1-0 pitch to Hickey. And taking strike 1.
Taking a little bit of velocity off of that one. Being able to manipulate speed, so important here at the end of the ball game. You don't want a hitter to be able to get on time, and so changing speed, definitely an important part here in the 7th.
Into left field, it's down and it's going to the wall. Extra bases for Hickey. Into second to lead off the inning.
What a start in the inning for Virginia. It's Hickey's just her 3rd double of the year, and I talked about it. You cannot let hitters get on time. That's exactly what was allowed to happen. Hickey right on time with that pitch. Down in the zone, didn't try to elevate or do too much, just gave herself a chance to get into scoring position. Nobody out, and they're gonna put some more speed over there at second base.
Hickey takes a seat for Kamira Woody Jiggets, a junior from Halifax, Virginia. Nobody out, and the winning run on second. Virginia Tech awaits the winner tomorrow night. Kelsey Hackett is 0 for 2 this evening. A fly out and a line out. She shows bunt. She gets it down, and the ball goes into right field, and Virginia's gonna win it. Hackett is injured on the play in right field after Virginia walks it off.
Wow, this ball game took a quick turn. Not only is that a walk-off win for Virginia, but they have now lost a huge part of their ball club, and this crowd has gone completely silent.
You could see instantly Kelsey Hackett in distress when she hit the ground. What was a moment of elation is now all concern for Hackett. Kelsey Hackett, a senior from right here in the state, one of those 5 local seniors, helping her team win this opening round game. And Hackett up on her feet, which is great to see. And now the celebration, you could see her yell at her teammates as they came over to congratulate her, but just really good to see her back on her feet.
Definitely a gentle celebration, which was looking to be pretty crazy before she went down. Oh, and she surprises us all by jogging around. Great turn of events for Kelsey Hackett, the game winner here tonight.
A lot of class from Pitt, too, in taking in that moment. You have seniors on that Pitt team who just played their final game, showing respect for Kelsey Hackett. Virginia walks it off, 2-1 winners in the final game of day number 1 here at the ACC Championship. Let's take a look at tonight's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
It's the walk-off winner. And typically you like to see a big hit, but it was simply a push bunt to the pitcher that spiked in the ground and gave the pinch runner, Woody Gidget, a chance to come around. So much speed on the base pass, but with the ball trickling out to the outfield, the walk-off winner, a nice little push bunt to finish it off for Virginia. What a tremendous effort by Pitt, who was in control all night long until here within the last 2 innings.
Second straight quarterfinal appearance for Virginia, and the late heroics give us a rivalry tomorrow night to cap off day number 2. It'll be the Cavaliers and the Hokies at 7:30 Eastern. It all kicks off, though, at 11 a.m. Eastern. Mark Neely and Carol Bruggeman have the first 2 games tomorrow. Florida State, Georgia Tech, and then Stanford, Louisville, before the 2 rivalries tomorrow night. Duke at UNC will kick off the nightcap for us. What a day.
Crazy ball games, but that's what you expect this time of the year.
Well, that'll do it. Back at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Still a lot more to come from the ballpark tonight. All ACC is coming up next. For Jenny Dalton-Hill, our producer Todd Koulis, director Paul Drushniak, I am Chucky Kempf. Let's go to Taylor Tannenbaum, Brittany McKinney, and Alex Powers for All ACC.